Hey everybody, and welcome to this week's podcast where I'll be joined by Danny Bradley. Danny is from Corduff. He grew up in the same area as myself, and he's going to talk about his story. He's going to tell about how he got involved in drugs, he got locked up, he came out of prison and hit rock bottom after prison. He was homeless and something just clicked. He turned his whole life around. So I hope you enjoy his story. It's very inspirational. Hope somebody gets something from it. If you do enjoy it and all the other podcasts that we have, please make sure to subscribe to all of our channels, okay? Thank you. I hope you enjoy this one.
This is the Ger Conroy Fitness Podcast. For more, see gerconroy.ie.
Danny Bradley, welcome to the podcast.
Cheers, Jer. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thank you for coming on. Danny, I was just saying in the introduction there, like, we both grew up in the same area. We both grew up in Corduff. We both played football, and that's how I knew you. And then all of a sudden, I just hear you had to go to prison. I didn't know you were involved in any of that type of stuff around like that. I just heard you were going to prison. And years later, then obviously I knew you were out. I've seen you around. And then next thing I seen a couple of weeks ago on Instagram, I see you're at the starting this running club, and now you're doing this David Goggins challenge, the 4 miles every 4 hours for 48 hours.
48, yeah.
And I'm not messing. I had never heard of that before until you posted it, and I'm like, he's a lunatic. What's he signing up to this for? And then loads are doing it, and I'm like, and a few of our members were doing it as well. And I was like,
yeah,
don't ask me to do that because I'm not doing that thing, you know. Not a chance.
Yeah.
But look, we get to all that in a minute. But basically, like I said, I know you from, I suppose, when you were a teenager playing football, and I knew your brother Franor, and that's how I knew you, and obviously being around the area as well. But what kind of happened? Because you really hit rock bottom. Some people say they hit rock bottom. You did.
Yeah.
I know that from talking to you a couple of weeks ago. But tell everybody your story. Tell me what happened. You were playing football, and then the next thing I heard, you got locked up. So what happened in between?
Yeah. So yeah, look, I always loved my sport. I always liked staying fit. Played football from a young age for the local clubs or whatever. But yeah, I think just obviously playing football, hanging around, being a young fella, in with the usual crowd, you know, the crowd that your mother and father don't want you to be with. But yeah, no, look, I think it all just started, say I was probably around 21, 22 years of age. I was working, finished up work, got let go. Needed obviously some sort of outlet for money. And back then, I think, well, even still now today, the quickest way to get money is to sell drugs. And I'm not promoting that in any way. It's a quick way, but yeah, it has its consequences. Like, I got sentenced to 4 years because of it. But yeah, that's where it all sort of went wrong, I think. So like, I started selling drugs, got a 15A charge from there. So for anyone that doesn't know what a 15A charge is, it's a drugs charge for sale and supply for anything over 10,000. And I was caught with like
10,000,
37,000 worth. So
Jesus.
Yeah, so if you're caught with anything over 10,000, it's classed as a 15A charge. I was caught with 37,000. Had it in my house at the time. The guards who raided my house, they were as surprised as I was. Like, they said they got a tip off that I was selling weed. But look, it's neither here nor there. I was caught, and that's when things got a little bit out of hand, you know, and that's when I was given a 4 years prison sentence.
Jesus, Danny. 4 years. And like I said, yeah. I knew you from being in the area, and I just thought, yes, Danny walks, plays football, and then the next thing I knew you were going to prison. Like, I didn't know any of that. Like, did your family know you were involved in the drugs and stuff like that? Like,
no. Well, look, I think there was probably a close couple of friends who knew. Not a great deal of people knew. None of my family would have had an idea. And when I did get caught as well, it was a sort of decision I made not to tell them what I was being charged for, or not to even tell them I was up in court. So when the time came for me to be charged, I got it sort of sped up over about 8 or 9 months. Usually a lot of people would drag it out over a couple of years. I knew I was caught. I knew I was getting time. I just wanted to get it over and done with. So within the space of 9 months, then I was up in court, and the judge sentenced me to 4 years. Now, surprising as it sounds, I was a little bit happy with 4 years. I could have got 10 years. There is a lot of lads out there that got caught with less than me, and they got 10 years. So I think it's just the luck of the draw, who you get on the day, you know.
As in the judge, like.
Yeah, absolutely. And then when I did get caught as the judge, yeah, look, each judge is different. A lot of people say it's like bleeding roulette. Like there's people that have went in after me and they got caught with more, they got a suspended sentence. But the day I did get sentenced, when I got the 4 years, it was only my partner at the time, Nicola. She was there, and I just remember when the judge gave me the 4 years, and the guard putting the cuffs on me and walking me out of the holders. And I remember just looking back at Nicola, and she was just in a flood of tears, like. And at that point, I just thought, fuck, you know what I mean? I've really fucked it here. And then when I was sitting down in the holding cells and all, I still sort of didn't really come to terms of what's after happening. Like, I didn't tell my family about it whatsoever. It was only when, no, they didn't know. Actually, at the time when I got sentenced, I got me barrister. I said, look, bring me family there and tell them that I'm after getting sentenced to 4 years. And they were like, what do you mean bring your family? I didn't tell them. What's the point in telling them, having them worry for months and months on end? You know what I mean? I said, it's like a band-aid, just pull it off. So look, I think it was probably better rather than have them worrying for months.
Say that was some shock to them. They didn't know you were involved in any of that, and all of a sudden you're getting locked up.
Yeah, well, look, yeah, that's
fucking hell, Danny.
Yeah, so I know. So it's like I could have been bleeding. I could have been over my mom's house the day before, or whatever. You know what I mean? Everything was la-di-da and normal, and then the next day he's getting a phone call from the barrister.
Jesus.
But yeah, no, it was a shock. Obviously, it was a shock, and then obviously just being, it was hard to sort of comprehend what's after happening. Like I was in shock for, I'd say, a couple of hours after that in the holding cell. You know what I mean? Talking to lads there, and it was as if there's nothing happened. And I think when it really hit home was when I got into the cell, they closed the door behind me, and I sat there and I thought, fuck, there's no getting out of here.
Yeah. 4 years, man. Jesus. And how long did you actually serve? Like, you served less than 4 years, did you?
Yeah. So there's a remission. So for every 1 year of prison, it's 9 months. You get 3 months for remission. So it works out, I was to do 3 years, but I actually done just 2.5 because I got out then on a community service game. I finished the rest of the day doing community service. Yeah. But look, there's a lot of ways you can take that when you get in there, you know what I mean? You can either go one way or the other way. You can either just get on with it, or else you can make it hard for yourself.
Jesus. And obviously you just got on with it, and is that when you, like, I always hear, someone got out early on good behaviour. Like, what does that mean? Does that mean just getting on with it type of thing?
Yeah, like, look, more or less getting on with it. And then the likes of that community service game, I wouldn't have got that, obviously, if I had been kicking up, stinking, bleeding, giving the screws a hard time, making things hard on myself.
Yeah.
I made a decision on the day when I was sitting in the cell. I made a decision there and then what way I'm going to do this. And the way it was is, look, I am who I am. I'm no hard man. I'm no bleeding gangster. I'm not this person that's coming in here with a chip on the shoulder. Yeah. I'm Danny Bradley from an area who just got caught up, you know what I mean? And that stood to me. To me, you know. I didn't have many run-ins as such or anything in there. None that would you say. But you just, look, you have to make things easy for yourself when you're in a situation like that.
Jesus, that's mad. It's I'm just still thinking about your family. Like you said, you're probably in your ma's house the day before. Then you get to call, he's locked up for 4 years.
Yeah, but yeah, some people think of it as a little bit strange. But people think, it was probably the right thing to do, because imagine if I had told them and I got caught, they're going to be worrying for 9 months or whatever it was. Jesus, what's going to happen with him? What's going to be this? What's going to be that? Whereas if it was like a band-aid, they pulled it off. Look, he's gotten 4 years.
Look, bang, at the end of the day, I suppose it's your decision. It's whatever you're trying to protect them, I suppose, and you're only doing it to try and protect them, as I said, and that's just the decision you made. But come here, tell me.
Yeah.
Right, so you're in there, right? Was it going into prison? Like, was it what you were expecting? Was it totally different? Like, were you crapping yourself?
I didn't know what to expect. Obviously, I've never been in a situation like that before. And I think for anybody who knows about jail or who doesn't know about jail, all I've ever known was it's just stories I've heard, you know.
Yeah.
So when you're in there yourself and you're going through it yourself, like, this isn't like the fucking stories I've been told. the details, you know what I mean? You're being told to strip, you're being told to bend over, starkers naked, screws staring at you. You don't hear little things like that, you know, and it's just the little details. Yeah, all you are is a number in there. Like, I'll never, ever, for the rest of my life, ever forget my prison number, because it had such an impact on me in there. And that's all you are, you know?
Yeah. Jesus. And like, so what happened? You got out 2.5 years into the sentence. You got out. What happened when you came out?
So we got out. Obviously, Nicola was there with the kid. I'd actually only had one child at the time.
Yeah.
And I'd moved back home. I was doing my community service. Everything seemed to be going good. But I think it was the whole hype. The area I come from, if you do jail or anything like that, you become like a little local celebrity as such. And it's a bad way of putting it, but that's what it was like. Everybody sort of wanted to be a friend. Everybody wanted to know you. Jesus, there's Danny Bradley. He was locked up for a couple of years. And I think with that whole thing, I think sort of it made things worse for me, because I came out and I played off that, you know.
Yeah.
I enjoyed going out partying. I enjoyed taking drugs. I did enjoy everything that I brought with it. Like, you know, there was a lot of arguments between me and my partner. There was a lot of times I wouldn't come home. So that went on for a couple of years. And then after that, then it just got really, really out of control. Whereas if I was using drugs then without even drinking, you know, and that's when my addiction really got bad. I was cross addicted with alcohol and also with cocaine. So yeah, for years I was doing that, and I was trying to hide it from people. But at one point you just can't hide it.
And like, when you are, like, the day you're getting released from prison, you're coming out, is your mindset like, all right, I'm gonna give it all up now, I'm gonna start a new life? Or were you like,
Absolutely.
really, yeah? You weren't planning on getting
Absolutely.
back involved in that, and like,
Oh, absolutely not. Look, I'm going to say it now. Every night in prison, I prayed. And I said prayers and I said lies, absolute lies, because I promised that I'd never, ever get back involved in it. I'd never do this. I'd never do that. I said it all because at the time, I thought that's what's going to get me out of there. And as soon as I get out of there, everything I said, bang, gone, down the drain.
yeah. Fucking hell.
But, yeah, look, you say what you say at the moment, you know what I mean? Because you think it's going to help there and then, but nah, I ignored everything I'd said.
Yeah, no way. And like, so what happened? Obviously, you were taking drugs, and like you said, alcohol and drugs, and then you're even taking drugs when you weren't even drinking. What happened then? Like,
Proper spoiled out of control. I used to think that it was just a social thing. I'd go out of a Thursday or a Friday and I wouldn't come home till the Sunday or whatever like that, and I'm causing fights at home. And at this point, I have 2 kids, and it just wasn't helping anything. And I always had the thought in my head, I'm just a lad who likes to enjoy himself. You know what I mean? What's the bleeding problem here? Like, so what if I like to have a couple of drinks and a fucking couple of sniffs and that like that? All I'm doing is enjoying myself. But realistically, the people that were trying to stop me from doing this were the people who cared about me, you know? The likes of Nicola, the likes of my family. They were the ones who were telling me, look, you shouldn't be doing this. And I'm looking at them saying, fuck you, what do you know? Do you know what I mean?
yeah.
I just want to enjoy myself. But realistically, they were right from the start.
And what made you realise you were right?
Well, it got to the point where I was homeless. You know what I mean? I was living in a car. I had nothing left. I had burned bridges with every single person who knew me. I had manipulated anybody who I could. Nicola had enough. She didn't want me around the kids. My mother and father bleeding didn't want to know me. My friends, people who would call close friends, didn't want to know me. And it was my 29th birthday. So it was a couple of years. Obviously, I had went on after being released from prison. I was 29. And at this point, I was living in a car. I had a car parked over at Blade in Waterville, and I was living in it.
Jesus.
And and it was my 29th birthday, where I was straight to God. It was about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I had a blanket wrapped around me and a rattling cold. And I said to myself, something's got to fucking give here. Like, something has got to give. This can't be, there has to be more to life than this. So I made the decision to get in contact with Kilmoyne.
Yeah. Tell me about Kilmoyne.
So obviously from then,
Like, what exactly do they do? Like, because a lot of people don't even know about them.
No, they don't. A lot of people think it's Kilmoyne. It's like people go there when they need help with drugs. That is the whole thing of it. But it's the finer detail. They go from second to none. The treatment they give people in there is really, really unbelievable. From the minute I ran Kilmoyne, from the minute I left, even now today, if I ever felt like I was insecure about something, not insecure as such, if I ever felt that I was in need of help, I could always give Kilmoyne a call, and there'd be always someone there to help me, regardless.
Good support network, like.
Absolute fantastic support network. I started the program. It would have been January. What year is it now? So I'm just over 3 years clean now. So it would have been the January 2018, and it was prior that I made the calls. Let's say on my 29th birthday, and you have to do a thing what you call as pre-entries. So it's like a build-up. So they want to see how committed you are. They can't just hand beds out to anybody. So I had to go through the pre-entries program. So for 3 months or so, I went to the Lord Edward Street. They have a premises in Lord Edward Street as well. I went into there, and for twice a week I was given clean urines for 3 months or so. And then a bed came along. And then I made the decision then to go in. So I stayed with them. It was 6 months residential. And then after that, then it's a step down. It's a couple of months step down. But when I say hard, like, I thought prison was tough. Kilmoyne was the hardest thing I've ever done.
Really?
Absolutely. In prison, you can be the...
Sorry, I was just going to ask in what way? Like that's...
Yeah, so in prison, you can be the person, whoever you want to be. In Kilmoyne, you can't hide. You can't, you know what I mean? You have to sort of sit down and take a real long look at yourself. And if it's something that you try and avoid, it'll be spotted in there, and they'll say to you, look, you know what I mean? You need to come clean here with yourself. And I remember I done that. I think I was 2 weeks in, and I was just being my jolly old self, you know what I mean? Everybody liked me. Jesus, yeah, you know. But they set me around, and there was 30 lads around me, and they said, right, let's get to know you. And I was like, what you mean? You all know me. No, we don't know you. We know you. We know you've an addiction, but like, why are you here? And that's when I fucking, Jesus, that's where I really had to dig deep and start speaking about the shit. Start speaking about the things you don't want to speak about. The things that I was taking drugs to hide. The things that I was drinking alcohol to hide. Because believe it or not, people who have an addiction and a problem with alcohol or anything like that, we do it to take ourselves away from things. And what I was doing was I was running from everything. I didn't want to face on. I didn't want to face my childhood. I didn't want to face my prison sentence. I didn't want to face all the people I've hurt over the years. So by me taking drugs and drinking, it took me away from all that, and I didn't have to face any of that.
Made you forget about it, like?
Absolutely, yeah. That's what you do. You forget about everything, but you think you forget about it. All you're doing is you're just hiding it there at the back of your head. It's still there. It's not gone away.
Putting a plaster over the cut type of thing.
Yeah, but like, it's not going to go away. It's never going to heal unless you sort of sit down and talk about it. And in Kilmoyne, that's one thing that they did do. But they made me sit down. They made me look really, really deep. And I spoke about everything. They make you write a life story, which I wrote a life story. It really is, like, it's hard to explain how good it is in there for somebody going through something like that.
Is that like when you say 30 lads sit you down and say, right, tell me about you, I want to hear all about you now? Like, is that kind of like, I don't know, being set down and have to just kind of tell everything, like sitting in front of a counsellor type of thing, is it?
So in Kilmoyne, they call it a therapeutic community. That's Kilmoyne TC. So the way it is there is people who work there, there is key workers, but all they do is facilitate. They'll sit in a group and they won't talk. It's the people around you who's obviously gone through all this as well. They're the people who's asking the questions because they know what questions to ask. They're the ones who's challenging it. Exactly. They're the ones who's challenging it on all these questions. And you can't hide. An addict can't hide from an addict because we've all been there before. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We all know what's going on with each other. Our stories are just a little bit different.
Jesus, that's. And I've heard people that have gone up there and they always have really good things to say, but I've never heard it in detail as this, as in, like, obviously they facilitate it and the lads sit you down and start kind of getting you.
Yeah, now look, it's that might seem daunting to people, but it's not daunting. You know what I mean?
It's just
Like,
opening up, like.
I've absolutely, it's opening up. And look, don't get me wrong, you don't have to sit there for the very first time and spill your guts.
Yeah.
Gradually over time, the lads know in there, your peer is what they're called. Your peer, the people around you, your peer, they'll know how to treat you, you know. And it's great because I remember the first time when I started talking, I literally 30 lads around me, I hadn't a clue who any of them were really, and I'm bawling my eyes out, crying like a baby. You know what I mean? And I remember afterwards walking out of the meeting room or the group room, and they're all pat me on the back, you know what I mean? And I'm thinking, such a relief.
Yeah.
Fuck, you know what I mean? I'm able to speak about this, and obviously other people in there, they've done the same thing, so they know what it's like, you know. But the support network, it's fucking phenomenal. It really is. And even some of the key workers in there are all recovered addicts. Well, not to say recovering addicts, you know. They've
Yeah.
all been through the program as well, so they know exactly what it's about. But it is for anybody. Look, for anybody, if there was somebody listening to this and they did have a little issue, or else they know somebody that is having problems, I'd strongly advise you to get in contact, because it's the best decision I've ever made, and I'll never ever look back. Like, I always say this: my partner has a boyfriend back, my kids have their father back, my parents have their son back. You know, and it's all down to that decision that I made that night.
It's like you got a second chance at life type of
Oh,
thing,
yeah,
you know?
absolutely. Oh, yeah, absolutely 100 agree that I got a second chance. I got a second chance with everybody. My partner gave me a second. Well, she gave me a million chances, but this was me really second chance. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, it is. Look, it's definitely a second chance, and I hate to say it, but not everybody gets it. You know, I've heard of a lot of people when I was in there, people who would be around me, they went out and they fell again. You know what I mean? When I say fell again, they've spiraled back into addiction. Thank God, at the moment, I'm doing a lot that helps me. That helps me mentally, that helps me physically, that helps me at home. You know what I mean? I'm doing a lot. And I think that's my little outlet that'll keep me on the straight and narrow. And I hope to continue to do that for the rest of my life, you know?
Yeah, you're lucky to have that support network. And as you said, not many people, not everybody has that. Like, obviously you have Nicola and then you have your family there. Like, so.
Yeah, there's not a lot of people that have it. There's a lot of people that will go out and they don't have anybody to go out to. And they are really trying their best, you know, and it just doesn't work for them. But what I always say to people, look, if it doesn't work, just keep trying. That's all you can do, is just keep trying.
And like you said, reach out to Kilmoyne as well, because I know this is why you wanted to come on and kind of talk about it, because the main goal here for you is to just try and help one person. And
look, I've always said that with Kilmoyne, like when I was in Kilmoyne, I got so much back. Like, as we were talking at the start of this, football was my thing. I love football. Addiction and prison, it took it all away from me. But while I was in Kilmoyne, I managed to link in with the Irish Street Leagues. And with that, then I managed to go over and represent Ireland in Mexico. Like,
yeah, I was going to get to that in a minute. You have a cap for Ireland.
yeah, so like I got capped for Ireland. So even when I think of it now, I'm like, what?
Is
So like,
mad. That's mad.
look, yeah, it's bragging rights nearly everywhere you go. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I'm
Absolutely.
I want to
You know
live
what I mean? Like, there might be a better footballer than you or whatever. So yeah, we got a cap. Nah, unlucky me.
Well, then you're not a better footballer than me.
Yeah, but look, so like obviously I got that, you know, and like that's another place as well. Like the Irish Street Leagues. If anybody's on Instagram, go follow them. They're really Sean Kavanagh and all the coaches there. They are really brilliant as well. You know, they give lads chance like myself. They gave me a chance. I went for the trials. Done it all, you know. But I remember the day when we were going over to Mexico. They put us up in a hotel the night before, and I remember, but they make it really special, you know, because obviously they know what we've all came through and our past, obviously homelessness, addiction, all these things. So I remember going up to the hotel room, put my key card in and walking in, and there's all our jerseys laid out and all our club gear. And this is all like Irish stuff, you know what I mean? Your name is on the Irish jersey.
Stop.
It's just, it really is brilliant.
No way. That is class, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
no, it was. And
what was it like when you got to play the match? How many matches did you just play?
I think we would have played probably between 12 and 18 matches over the whole course. We actually won the Telmex Cup that year.
Oh,
So it was good. We brought home silverware and all, you know, which was great. Like, but like, there's another moment where you just sort of think, what the fuck? Like, one year I'm bleeding, I'm homeless, I'm in a car, you know what I mean, I'm sleeping rough, and then the following year, standing on a bleeding football pitch in Mexico City, and the national anthem is playing.
oh, I'd say that was nuts, was it?
Yeah, like, you know what I mean, you're sort of, and there's national anthem playing, you're wearing the green jersey, and you're looking around, you're thinking, how the fuck is this after happening? You know what I mean?
What?
But yeah, look, it was.
Go on, yeah.
Sorry, it was like, yeah, like I was saying, it was absolutely just an experience that I'll always remember. You know what I mean? I'll never ever forget it. Like,
Oh, stop off. Fucking right. If representing Ireland, you know. What position did you
yeah.
play?
So with the leagues that we are doing, it's a little bit different than your 11-a-side. So it's not an 11-a-side. So the smaller
What's it?
pitches, and it's sort of smaller. The real like your Astro pitch, you know. But then it's 4 players to a team. So that's the
All
keeper
right.
and 3 outfield players.
All
It's
right.
it's people would some sort of look at it like a futsal, you know, but it's a street league. It's a street league game, but it was brilliant because I remember standing in the middle of Sacalo Square in Mexico City, and there's all these people around me, and they're looking at me in the jersey, and some of them were even asking for me to sign their bleeding jerseys and all. So I'm like,
You're like,
yeah, I'll sign it, no bother, like a little celebrity, you know. But it was all really surreal, but
Stop.
absolutely amazing, like
No way.
deadly though.
And come here then. So you came home, and
Yeah.
that's deadly, Danny. That's deadly.
Yeah, but like I remember actually touching on that as well. I remember when I come home then, that's where I sort of really think, fuck, I am like a little local celebrity. RTA, I'm telling you, RTA got onto me.
No way.
Yeah, I had to travel down to Cork to go on to the Dottie and Moira show. You know Dottie and Moira?
Yeah.
Yeah, I went on their TV daytime TV show and all.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, so I was thinking, so that's when I thought, fuck, I'm definitely a celebrity here, you know. Well,
Oh,
so I thought. But I was doing paper interviews, doing radio interviews. It was just mad. Like everybody sort of latched onto the little story about where they've come from.
no
So
way.
I think it was just, yeah. So I think the reason a lot of people were sort of taken back saying, no, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. And I said, yeah, I'll do it. And the reason I said that was because it'll help somebody. Like,
Yeah, and so look, that's the whole reason you want to do this podcast. You want to help somebody, and that's like Danny. You're talking about earlier on, and you weren't able to talk, and then it's 30 lads, and you broke down in front of them all, and now you're talking about it like water off a duck's back type of thing, and you're
yeah,
the same. Obviously, in a really good place, you're very confident. You're able to talk about it, and you're not shying away from anything. You're very much putting yourself out there and saying, "Yeah, I fucked up, and but
yeah,
I've tried my best
yeah.
now."
Because that's one thing. There's always somebody who can relate to you, no matter what. There's always somebody there that's going to relate, whether it be one person, whether it be 10 people.
Mm.
But if you think about it, if you help that one person and then that one person helps another, look, you're helping people along the way regardless. And so I always said to myself, look, I'll never shy away from telling my story, no matter how stupid it sounds, no matter how blatant, whatever way it sounds, I'll always tell my story because someone's going to benefit from it regardless. And
Yeah,
that's why I always say, I'll tell my story to anybody.
yeah, fair play to you. And again, like, look, obviously, we'll get into the running club and stuff in a minute, but it's a credit to you, Danny, talking about this because I can only imagine how hard it was to kind of come through all that and how hard it was to open up initially and now you're putting it out there and letting everybody know. Fair play to you. It's a tough old story, like, you know, but you deserve a pat on the back as well, like, you know, and I know you have
Yeah, no,
your
look,
family and Nicola there to help you, but you had to go and do it yourself. Like, people gonna want you to do this, but you have to actually want to do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, and that's one thing I will say. Look, it's not going to happen itself. There's a concept I learned in Kilmoyne, and like a lot of concepts will stick out, but there is one that sticks out. Like you'll get back what you put in.
Yeah.
You know, if you put 100% in, you're going to get 100% out. And there's also another thing somebody said to me in there, and it's one of the other Kilmoyne concepts, is he who does not examine his past is doomed to repeat it. Like, I'm always going to look back at where I came from and never ever forget that. Do you know what I mean? I'll never ever forget where I came from, because if I start to forget where I came from, I'll only go back there, you know? So I'll always remember 29 years old, my fucking birthday in that car. I'll always remember the trouble I put Nicola through and the kids through, because I'll never ever want to do that again.
And I'm glad you said that, because I was thinking that a few minutes ago. You actually said it was my 29th birthday. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning. You remember specific details, so you know how much that means to you. Yeah, and that was like a real.
I'll never ever forget it. You know what I mean? It's times like that when I'm having a bad day. You know what I mean? Or if I'm feeling a bit shit, I think, well, look, you know, you came from this, so just fucking get yourself together here, you know?
And Danny, I'm glad to hear that as well, because so many people achieve really good things, right? Whether it's like being addicted and getting themselves clean, or whatever it is, right, in life. And I know loads of people that have done really well, and they're always hard on themselves, and they're never able to say, oh, well, look, okay, I'm having a bad day, but I've got to hear, look where I was before. You know what I mean? And I'm delighted to hear you saying that, because not many people can do that. People love kind of being hard on themselves, and there's no need to be
beating
hard on
themselves
yourself.
up.
I hate seeing people beating themselves up, and like, how could you not be proud of what you're at to doing, Danny? Obviously, look, it wasn't a good thing you done. Like I said,
No,
I
absolutely
didn't know
not.
any of that. Wasn't a good thing. You put your family through hell, I'm sure, and but look what you're doing now. You're trying to make up for that. You know what I mean? And you need to give yourself a bit of credit and pat on the back, and it's good you're able to recognise that.
Yeah,
You know,
no, don't
fair
get me
play.
wrong. Look, I think I'm human. You know, I'm not a robot. I'm not like that. I'm human.
Yeah.
I still have bad days, but I'm able to recognise my bad days, and I'm able to sort of look, say, you know what? Like you said, go easy on yourself.
No, that's important. So you've played football. I'm jealous of that cap. Them caps you have. Snapping I am. No, but you came back. You're doing all these interviews, and now, like, what happened in between then, or is that literally just when you started to say, okay, I need to start exercising? How did exercise come into this?
No, so obviously after that, then I got back playing football again with Cardiff. Great club.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They've always been there. I've always played for them over the years. They've a good setup as well. I actually coach as well in the nurseries as well now.
Very good.
So I started back playing ball, and then obviously over the years, then just COVID hit. You know, I think COVID's messed everything up for everybody.
Of course. Yeah.
And then it was last October where I just said, you know what, with no football, me being who I am, I needed something to do.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what, I'll start doing a bit of running. And obviously I was looking at all these other running clubs in other areas, inner city running, Cherry Orchard, all these clubs who are doing absolutely fantastic.
Yeah.
And I said, that's bleeding brilliant, you know, and the amount of people I'm hearing that are getting so much benefits from it. So I said one day, you know what, look, I'm going to bleed and look for a local club, and I couldn't find one. So then I said, right, can't find one, I'm going to start one.
Very good.
So that's what I done. I put a post up on Instagram, look, I'm going to start up a local club, and that's what I have done. And I said, if anybody wants to join me, I'm going to run on this day at this time. These are all more than welcome. So I started out. You'd have bleeding 4 or 5 people down. And then obviously we got a different location. We're running the aquatic centre now, and I think I've played in about 70 odd members now, like, you know what I mean?
It's brilliant, Danny. Because I was like, I didn't even know it was you. I've seen following us on Instagram, and I was looking, I was start following back, and I'm like, who is this? And I seen you tagging each other and all. And I'm like, who is it? Is it Danny? Is it this person? Is it that person? And then obviously I knew it was you then after just having a little look, and I was like, fair play and play to him. That's deadly.
Yeah, like it was a thing that I did not think it was going to take off the way it did.
Yeah.
Like I said, we were down on the canal, bleeding cold, you know what I mean, running down 5Ks up down the canal. And then now we're running the aquatic centre now. For anybody's listening and doesn't know, it's D15 RC.
I wanted to ask, so is it just on Instagram, or do you have Facebook as well? What is it?
Yeah, so obviously we're only set up a while since October. There's a lot of stuff we want to be doing. We can't really do it with COVID. So yeah, at the moment it's just Instagram.
And what's the name of it?
But D15RC. You'll see the logo and stuff on it.
Yeah. I'll share it as well on social media and stuff.
But so like now we're getting a lot of members now. We're getting a lot of people involved, and I say to all the members down there, I'm like a little proud father, because when I see people coming down who are walking. Now this is a running club, but in this running club, look, we have walkers, we've joggers, we've crawlers, we've everything. You know what I mean? We're not one of these people. Look, you have to be able to run this pace. That it's nothing like that, you know. And that's what I think. Welcome. Yeah, we get absolutely. That's one thing I'll always say. We're a mix of all sorts, you know. Doesn't matter your age, doesn't matter bleeding how fit you are. If you want to come down and walk it, there's a lot of people that walk it. If you want to come down and jog it, come down and jog it. Intervals, we're starting up a Couch to 5K program soon. So we're hoping that gets a lot of people down as well who don't do any running and want to get involved with running, because the physical benefits are great, right? But the mental benefits it really is phenomenal. There's people out there that just go to get out of the house for a half an hour, 40 minutes, and the benefits it has on them is second to none. You'd be surprised how much it helps.
Yeah, and you couldn't have started at I was going to say a better time, but a more important time, because people are stuck in their house. Like, people are mailing me looking for motivation, and I'm kind of saying, I can't motivate you if you don't want to be motivated. People are expecting you out and out and knocking on the door and just get them into shape or something. I don't know, but people now are just stuck in their house. I know there's lockdown or whatever, but even now the restrictions have been lifted a bit. A lot of people are still almost not coming out of their house, and not because they still think, COVID or whatever. It's more so
we just don't know what's going on.
No, but this is just from talking to people that are basically saying, but I just don't want it. I'm in my house. I'm used to being in my house. So I'm not motivated to get out. And
exactly.
I don't want to do, the gyms aren't open, so I don't want to do an online class, or I don't want to do online, or I don't want to do PT. And I'd say, well, go running. And I did it. I talked about this in another podcast. I was saying, well, go running. But I don't like running. Okay, go walking. They're just looking for excuses. But you need to get out of the house. Everybody needs to get out of the house. Running, walking, jogging, crawling, as you said, it doesn't matter. Just do something.
Yeah.
And tell me.
Absolutely. Like we have, sorry, go on.
No, you go.
Like, we have people that come down and they literally say, I don't want to be here. And I'm like, yeah, I understand that. But one thing I'll always say, you will always regret not going out on a run, but you'll never regret going on a run. Never, ever will you hear somebody say, you'll never ever hear somebody say, fucking snapping, I went on that run. Never. Do you know what I mean? Or snapping, I went on that walk. You'll always hear somebody saying, do you know what, I'm delighted I went out. So it's getting up.
As the gym, like it's
getting up off the couch, yeah.
People just don't want to do it. And especially, it's a bit easier now with the weather or whatever, but weather getting nicer, and obviously gyms aren't open anyway, but in the winter time, it's dark out with training, I don't want to get out and go to the gym. Why? Like, you know how it feels. And actually, I spoke to even Padjo. We had Padjo on the podcast, and we were saying to him about, like, people just getting out and getting it done. And I was saying to Padjo, what makes him get up off the sofa, and go and do it? But it's because he knows the feeling he will have after exercising. The problem is people that have never exercised before, and I know the gym isn't for everybody. You'll know running's not for everybody.
Yeah.
But do something. And I always say, just for the first time, just get up and do it, whatever it is, walking, running, do the running club, go to the gym, whatever it may be, right? But the feeling you're going to have after it, unbelievable. And that feeling, no matter how bad you're feeling or how unmotivated you are the next day, if you can just remember that feeling you had, you'll be there straight away, because you want that feeling.
Absolutely. I couldn't agree more. It's the feeling of accomplishment. It's just that feel good. You know what I mean? You'll walk home, you'll have a smile on your face, regardless. And you'll be in that, like, I don't know what it is. Like, I was that person that I hated running. You know what I mean? That's no word of lie. I used to absolutely dread going out. But I swear it is. But even now, like, I love it. I love it, right? But when I'm doing it, I hate it.
Of course.
But when I'm finished, I love it. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's weird.
Look, that's what it does. Like, the exercise releases the endorphins. Like people always say, what's that mean? Basically just gives you that euphoric feeling, the feel good factor. Do you know what I mean? And that's what it basically does, to keep it simple. And then when you feel like that, you're like, and it has so many more benefits. Obviously, it makes you feel good. It looks after your insides. Obviously, it's going to make you physically fitter, but it'll make you mentally fitter. Your sleep is better. You're sharper. Like, whether you're in work, it's family life, you enjoy everything just a lot more, you know, when you're exercising.
Absolutely. Look, you do. Look, it's like, I took drugs for years. That was back then. That was my feel good thing. Now, this is like a drug to me. You know what I mean? This is where I get my good feeling. I've substituted the bad stuff for the good stuff.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
No negative impact and stuff like that.
Exactly. There's no, you know what I mean? There's no negative impact. It's something, but you know what I always say as well? It's something that everybody can do. Yeah. Running or walking, everybody can do it. You don't need, and it's one thing as well. I always say to people, it's free. Now, I'm not saying, look, there is clubs out there that are charging a lot of money. Like, for instance, I'll just put it into, there was a girl that come up to our club and she got a bus out from the Navan Road. And I was speaking to her and I was like, how come you're coming so far? She's like, oh, I can't find a local club. And I says, but there is clubs your way. And she says, yeah, they wanted €130 on me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, for what? I said, for what? Like, can you explain that? And he says,
go on,
sorry, yeah. So I says, can you explain why? She says, I says, I don't know why I had to give them the money, but that's what you're looking for. And I said, well, look, we're not a club that charges money. The reason being is because I couldn't, there's no way I'd have to justify charging somebody any money to go run in a grounds where it's free to run or free to walk on, you know?
Yeah, of course. And that's why I was delighted to hear you are doing that as well, and there's no charge on it. And I was like, this is brilliant, and it's really what the community needs. Like, I'm real, like, you have to do as much you can for the community type of thing. And you're a local lad in Cardiff, and you have all these people. Like, I see all the people that are doing it with you, because obviously I follow you on social media, and I'm like, it's brilliant what he's doing there. You're getting people out of the house at a time that has never been needed more. You know what I mean? Gyms are closed. You're getting people out of the house, and people will continue to do it when the gym's open, because it's now that little community, Danny. That's brilliant. And
absolutely, it is.
People are making friends now doing it. I see people in your running club that would have never end before. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. That's true. And there's a lot of people that has come down. Yeah, there's a lot of people that's come down and they say to me now, says, I would have never pictured myself running a 5K, a 10K, or whatever it is. Now, like, for instance, the challenge that we done, there was no way I'd ever think that I'd ever able to do that challenge, like, ever in a million years.
Talk to me about this challenge, right? So how did you hear of it? You just came across David Goggins online or something? What happened? So
look, for anybody who doesn't know David Goggins, go follow the man on Instagram or go pick up his book.
He's an animal.
Fella is fucking a machine.
I only actually...
he's a head case.
I only came across him a while back as well. I don't know how. I never heard of this fella before. And I was like, this fella's a psycho. In a good way, you know?
Yeah.
I was like, I was obsessed. Like, I was watching all these YouTube videos of him, and we've a newborn baby as well. And even when the baby was born, and I'd be like, I'm doing the night feeds. I'm like, I'm staying awake just going to watch YouTube because I want to see this. I'm telling you, I was wrecked. She'll be saying, like, oh, you're wrecked because you're on the night feed. And I'm kind of thinking, no, I was watching David Goggins YouTube.
Yeah. No, he is. Look, and I think as well, after you watch one or two of his videos, you're like, fuck this, I'm getting up. You know what I mean? You're bleeding hyped up over.
Yeah, well, my problem is I was watching at 3 o'clock in the morning. I can't go anywhere.
Out running with the baby on your back. Fuck's sake.
But you're seeing this fella, right? What happened then?
Yeah, so obviously, look, I've been following this guy, David Goggins, for the last couple of years, whatever, and I read his book, his life story, Jesus, and he's one of these people that came from a shit background and literally flipped it straight up, you know what I mean? Completely changed everything. And obviously, I was just reading about how he does his ultra runs and all this stuff. He's been through so much, but he come up with this challenge, the 4x40, 4x48. So you're running 4 miles, which is 6.5 kilometers, every 4 hours for 48 hours. And he holds it once a year, every year on the same date. So people all over the world can do it.
Very good.
So me thinking, geez, yeah, this is great. I thought, I'll fucking do that. You know what I mean? I'll bleed to give that a go. And I said, what better place to do it for? I said, I'd do it for Kilmoyne.
Yeah.
As a charity. So I said I'd do it. Then another couple of members said, oh, look, we'll do it as well. I said, oh, thank fuck, I'm not doing it on my own.
Yeah.
I think to be honest, I think if I hadn't been doing it on my own, I would have struggled.
Yeah.
But so the first couple of runs, grand, 6.5K every 4 hours. So I'll just give it a little insight. So 4 o'clock comes on the Friday, we do 6.5K, grand. 4:45, you're home, get changed, shower, you're back out at 8 o'clock, 6.5K. You go home, usuals, try and get some food into you, you're back out at 12 o'clock, 4 in the morning, 8 in the morning, all the way through till Sunday. And I'm not going to lie, I think it was like the 5th run in, from the waist down, my legs just wouldn't walk.
Stop. Because I was like, that's when I was doing the knife aid. So I was like looking at you and all the members doing it, and members of our gym and all doing it. And I'm like, I'm feeding the baby. And I was texting you, I was texting a few of them. I was like, keep going. I was like, lunatics doing this. Like, how can you do this? Like, how are their legs still there? You know what I mean?
It got to the point, I'm not going to lie, it got to the point, right, before the run, I had to get myself going. I had to nearly jump just to keep myself moving. And once my legs started running, then I was grand. I was in motion. Do you know what I mean? I was going. But one of the runs that Bladen stood out between a few of us, we call it the ketchup run. And this is fucking. So we were running, and obviously trying to get the right foods into you, it's a bit hard. Trying to get some sleep, it's hard. So not sleeping much, trying to get the right food in. So your body is struggling a little bit. And it was the second 4 a.m. run. Yeah. And I'm about 3 kilometers into the run. And my vision started to go. And I'm like, fuck. My body started to feel like it was shutting down. And I'm still moving. And I'm thinking, fuck, what am I going to do? And in my head, I'm thinking, I need something to eat, or I need something to drink, or some chocolate or something. I was just craving something. So I'm running. And then I'm looking on the ground, seeing if there's anything on the ground. That's how bad it got, like. I swear to God. So as I'm running in the middle of the road, coming down the Snugper Road, I'm running down the Snugper Road, I see a lot of these little red things on the ground. So I thought, lovely. This is no word of a lie. I picked them up. They were sachets of red sauce.
Stop.
I picked them up. And I'm running. And as I'm running, I'm trying to open them, and I couldn't open them. And the person beside me, give me them, I'll open them. So she rips them open and hands them back to me, and I'm bleeding, chugging on a lot of red sauce as I'm running that I found on the ground.
Stop.
But I'm not going to lie, it got me through it. But just with the whole challenge, the support from the local community was absolutely phenomenal. It really was. The people who are getting on to me, wishing me well, and just supporting. And then on the last day as well, Jesus, there was a big crowd on the last day. I mean, so many people took part in the last run as well. Yeah. Everybody really knuckled down. I know it was COVID and all, but everybody really said,
everyone was keeping the distance and all that as well. Like, I seen it,
Yeah. Like, but it was really something special, And then, like, for me to be able to, I think we raised over €3,000, for me to be able to do that and give it back to Kilmoyne then as well. Somebody that's helped me so much.
That's what's
it was sort of like a little thank you, look. And I'll always try and give back. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's one thing that they always say in Kilmoyne, don't forget where you came from,
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's great to give back, like over $3,000, like everything they've done for you, and it's brilliant, Danny. Fair play. And what do you have? Like, are you going to do that every year? Are you?
I'd like, look, not gonna lie, right? I think I was my 10th.
You're like, what do you have to ask me that for?
Yeah, I was crawling up the stairs, literally crawling at 4 a.m. And Nicola's looking at me, and she's, you gonna do this challenge next year? And I sort of hesitated. I was like, I don't know. As I'm bleeding, trying to get myself into bed, broke up, like, you know what I mean? She's just giggling to herself.
Oh, stop.
But no, look, I would definitely do it again, and I'd encourage more people to get involved.
Of course, yeah.
Because
only get bigger as well.
You're challenging yourself mentally and physically, and it was a great experience, and I was absolutely delighted I was able to do it. But like I said, I don't think I would have done it if it wasn't for the people around me doing it with me. Yeah. They really did push me along. These are all members of D15RC.
Yeah.
They really did push me along, and it was great to have that support from everybody in the club and outside the club.
Very good. And again, just for anyone that's listening and they do want to get involved, it is free to do it. There's no charge. and D15RC, yeah, on Instagram.
Yeah, D15RC on Instagram. We are in the moment of we are just trying to get a Facebook page set up, trying to get a couple of sponsors on board. We're trying to build. We've a lot of things in the pipeline that we want to do. But it's just with COVID, we need to make sure we do it right. Because we don't want this to flop. I definitely don't want this to flop. I want this to take off. Because it's so helpful to everybody in the community, and it's a little thing for the community. You know what I mean? Like, I think, like when Cardiff Football Club started to build up, it was great. Everybody was proud of it, you know. And I want something like that as well. You know what I mean? A local running club that people can be proud of as well.
Very good. Yeah, that's what it's all about. And you're at the giving back to Cool Mind. Now you're giving back to the community. You know what I mean? And it keeps you on track. It keeps you physically fit, keeps you mentally fit, and it keeps everybody else that's doing it physically and mentally fit as well. There's only positives from that.
Absolutely. Then. Yeah, no, it is one big positive. Like, yeah, there's you can keep crying out that it's so positive, it's so this, but it's down to the person. Look, get up and get off the bleeding seat and drop down. You know what I mean? You will not regret it. You definitely will not regret it.
And it's another way of people like getting to meet other people as well. There's a lot of people sitting at home, and look, I know we're talking about there's COVID and isolations. I know restrictions are being lifted a little bit now, but even in the next couple of months, it's another way of just getting out and just meeting people. You see it in the gym all the time.
Absolutely.
People are like meeting people they've never met before, total different areas they're coming from, and now all of a sudden they're best mates. You know what I mean? You see it
absolutely.
all the time. You're going to have the exact same thing in that running club.
Yeah, and like even like we run 3 days. So we run Wednesday 7 p.m, Friday 7 p.m, and Sundays 10:30. And we have a group obviously of 70 odd people in WhatsApp, and it's great to see that people who can't make them days, they drop a little message in saying, look, I'm going for a little walk here and I'm going for a little run here. And people will say, yeah, I'll go with you.
Brilliant.
So it's like a little community that you're starting up, you know.
That's it. That's what it's all about. Brilliant. So what's the future then for you, Danny? Obviously you're gonna continue to do this. What can you tell us any big plans that you have when COVID is gone? What kind of events are you gonna do?
Yeah, look, myself personally, I'd like to do the Dublin Marathon next time around. I've never ever thought I'd do a marathon, so that's something I want to do.
Very good.
I'm going to continue coaching with Cardiff Nursery as well. I enjoy that. I'm hoping to maybe get a couple of matches. So that's from 5 years upwards. You know what I mean? It's absolutely brilliant. The setup down there as well is phenomenal. I mean, the coaches.
They have a great setup.
They do. Like my daughter went through it herself, you know, and she was a little bit shy on going playing football, so they kept her on as a buddy coach, which is great as well, you know. It really is good.
So there's boys and girls from 5 years of age up, boys and girls.
Boys and girls from 5 years of age up. But we're actually starting back now in the next week or two. So look, if anybody wants to do it, you can mail me or you can mail the Cardiff Academy page. But I definitely recommend if you have kids and they're looking to get involved, definitely get involved.
And again, it's great for kids getting out and now interacting as well. It's not just adults, kids as well need to be interacting.
Yeah.
But
there's
lockdown.
Yeah, there's a couple of things well for myself personally that I'd like to do, the likes of the marathon. I want D15RC to grow as a big club in the Blanchardstown area. There's a couple of little things that I have as well that I can't actually speak of. But you'll all see it eventually. And when you do, you'll be like, that's what he was talking about. So I have that, and believe me, it's a fucking challenge. So
very good.
I'll say no more on that, but it will be out soon enough.
I look forward to that.
Yeah, look, I'm just gonna keep doing what I'm doing. Like I said, it helps me daily, physically and mentally, and obviously, look, it has a ripple effect. It helps everybody else.
Yeah, 100%. Well, look, listen, Danny, thanks very much for coming on. Like your story, like it's madness, like where you were and now where you are, and it just goes to show that if you really want to achieve something, you can do it. So fair play to you. I know I said it to you earlier on, but credit to you. You do deserve a lot of credit, and you're very lucky that you do have that support network with Nicola and your family as well. But no, fair play to you. Thanks very much.
Thanks very much for having me on, Jay. I appreciate it. And like I said, if there's anybody listening at all that I can help, I hope I do. And look, I'm always there as well. Quick mail to me, and I'll talk, whatever, you know.
Brilliant. Thanks for that. And also, I'll probably get you back on again when you do announce this big challenge, and we'll probably
yeah,
we'll
absolutely.
talk
We will
about
definitely
it.
have a chat.
Lovely stuff. Listen, Danny,
Absolutely.
thank you very much. I appreciate it. All right.
No problem at all, Jay. Thanks for
Take
having me.
care, buddy. Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay, so there you have it. A massive thank you to Danny for coming on and sharing that story with us. Danny wanted to come on to hopefully inspire somebody and let them see that there's always a way out. So again, thank you, Danny. I hope everybody's enjoying these podcasts. If you are, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Spotify and iTunes, and share it on social media. Tell your friends and family, okay? Thank you, everybody. Take care.